We are really pleased to welcome you to the WeLCoME service. During this session, I'm going to explore the symptoms and impact of people that we commonly see, briefly talk about the model we use to make sense of persistent fatigue and other symptoms, and help you to understand more about the service and our approach in order for you to get the most out of your assessment and, most importantly, if this aligns with what you're looking for right now. So how to make use of this recording? Watch it in stages, time perhaps 5-minute chunks if you know that screens can be challenging for you. Pause the video anytime, take a break, maybe do a stretch or a 3-minute breathing exercise. You can also re-watch sections, play back as you wish today or revisit it on another day. And do make notes if any questions pop up into your mind, and bring them along to the assessment and we can discuss them with you in person. So who are we? We are a team of therapy specialists and GPs with experience in assessing and treating persistent fatigue and associated symptoms. And we will conduct the assessment, offer treatment, and or signposting for adults who are referred. The service is funded until the end of March 2025, so all the assessment and treatment that we're offering at the moment, we're planning to complete it all by that time. So this is a Slido survey of some of our patients who attended a previous live webinar, and just gives you a little bit of a taster of the variety of symptoms that we commonly see. So fatigue is often front and center and the dominant symptom, but it rarely occurs in isolation. It's often described as exhaustion, debilitating, just a constant tiredness, maybe post-exercise or post-exertional tiredness or post-exertional malaise. People often describe pain and weakness, often being quite a widespread pain in aching muscles and joints. And you can see also a sort of an area of cognitive communication challenges. So people reporting things like being unable to concentrate or having memory issues, or perhaps word finding difficulties. You can also see here there are some cardiorespiratory symptoms, breathing, heart rate changes, gastric, digestive issues, and mood as well. So low mood, anxiety, fear, irritability. And this group of people here talk about how their symptoms affect many aspects of life, including challenges with work, socializing, relationships, exercise, and ultimately most aspects of daily life. People describe feeling like their life has shrunk. So as I move on to the next section, this is just an invitation to take a pause, move around a bit, do a few breathing exercises. And if you don't need that, then we will carry on introducing you to the team. So I am Stephanie Poulton. I'm the service lead and a physiotherapist by background. And you'll see from the others that we are a multidisciplinary team because there are symptoms from multiple body systems affecting multiple areas of life. So we all bring expertise to support the treatment options. And all of us are experienced in the same core foundation approaches to condition management. And so you can see we've got physio, occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, care coordinator, GP, and psychology. And it's really key that we all have some degree of psychological training, because being so impacted understandably affects emotional well-being. So how do we make sense of these symptoms? There's a model that we use in our service that we call systems dysregulation. And I guess to make sense of that, we first can understand how these systems interact to support the body in the first place. So our body needs to respond immediately to the demands of life, combining information from internal systems within the body and also information from the external environment. And our body's responses depend on the needs at the time. And they might be sort of active, like helping us to deal with a stressful situation, or they might be restorative, where we need support to maintain or return the body to a stable, balanced state. And these demands are many and varied, and they could be part of everyday life, like hunger, thirst, physical activity, like climbing the stairs, cognitive activity, having to figure out which bus to get at what time to get you to an appointment, processing emotions, and sleep. And ultimately, the body's response to demand, change, or need is achieved by regulating various dynamic systems, body-wide and also at a cellular level. And we've got these three main systems that are involved in such responses. And they are the autonomic nervous system, which communicates with the endocrine system via the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. And we also have the immune system. And all these systems work together to coordinate a response to change or to demands. And usually once the demand has passed, these systems will come back into balance and regroup, and we will then have energy to respond the next time some sort of stressor comes our way. However, sometimes for some people, after certain situations, the systems may remain in a heightened state of responsiveness or just not respond proportionately to the demand or stressor that they face. And this may look like having an immune response, like a flu-like response to physical exertion, from simply doing something like taking a shower or attempts to exercise, resulting in extreme tiredness, flu-like symptoms, or malaise, something we call post-exertional malaise. Or it might be being sensitized to stimuli like noises or light or unrefreshing sleep, where the sympathetic nervous system is on and in protective mode. This is the one that we often refer to as our fight or flight system, and is very, very good at protecting us, but for short bursts of time. And what we know in some of these conditions where fatigue dominates is that the sympathetic nervous system is much, much more active than we want it to be. And this is very energy expensive on the body. And that means in turn that the parasympathetic arm of the autonomic nervous system, that's usually responsible for the more restorative functions like sleep, digestion, healing, just doesn't get a chance to do what the body needs. And the result is that these systems are in a dysregulated state and can make it really difficult and challenging for us to navigate our way through kind of the normal expectations of everyday modern life. So where can we help you? So firstly, through our extended assessment, we can help to make sense of what is happening inside your body and why you might be experiencing the symptoms that you are. Once we have an understanding of what's going on for you, then we can support you to learn strategies and skills to reduce the suffering caused by these persistent symptoms. Can support you to try out ways of responding to feelings of sadness, anger, worry, and fear. And crucially, work towards being able to do more of the things in life that matter to you. And this is achieved through condition management. This will look different to different people depending on your symptoms and your needs and the impact. And it could include activity strategies, cognitive strategies, changing habits, navigating work and financial support, breathing exercises and mindfulness approaches. And for all the clinicians working in our service, we are all trained in psychologically informed ways. And this is crucial because how we think and how we feel ultimately influences what we do in our lives, and how we're impacted understandably affects how we are thinking and feeling and doing emotionally as well. So to put a little bit of context on this, I thought I'd take you through what your journey might look like. So meet Kelly. She is somebody who was referred into our service, would talk about feeling like her battery is empty. She was also experiencing breathlessness, which was limiting her ability to walk or go upstairs. She was suffering from brain fog, and understandably, all of these things were making her feel quite low. So she came along to one of our webinars and then came along to an assessment and met two of our clinicians at the assessment. And this is what she said: learning about models which describe what's happening in my body was really good. I can see how this will give me a foundation for strategies to manage my condition. So the first option for treatment is a group program. And this is what one of our patients said, having completed the group. You've been the first people to understand this illness and make me feel like I'm not exaggerating or going crazy. The support group aspect has been wonderful to connect with others, and the tips you've given have made a real impact in my everyday life. So the details of the group are that it is 8 weeks in duration, and it runs for 2 hours per week over those 8 weeks on a Tuesday afternoon, 2 till 4 p.m. The next course is starting on the 28th of January, and it will be finished mid-March. It will be in person, and it's based at St Leonard's Hospital. And the structure of the group is that it is run by two of our allied health professionals, a speech and language therapist and occupational therapist. And there are up to 12 people in the group. It's the same 12 people who start the session and go through each of the sessions together. The therapists will deliver various topics through the course of the weeks, and there is opportunity for you to try these strategies out and reflect on them and have discussions and learn as much from each other as from the content of the group sessions. And the feedback from people participating in the group is that it really gives something over and above what can be gained from individual therapy because of the group experience. The second option is individual therapy. And this is what one person had to say: coming to this service has been such an incredibly validating and supportive space. Feeling understood and being given practical tools and strategies to manage my symptoms has helped me a lot in navigating my illness. And to speak with a person who understands how hard it is was really life-changing. And so this looks like you coming to see any one of our therapists and having 45-minute sessions on condition management. This course of treatment could start at some point in January or February, and it's to end by mid-March. And it might be anything from 1 session up to 8 sessions, depending on what your needs are and what might be practical for you. This could be in person, or it could also be conducted online. And option 3 is Key Active. So we've partnered with a private company to deliver this program free of charge to our patients. So I'd invite you to go along to keyactive.com and explore the sort of work that they've done with other NHS trusts. And what this involves is being firstly issued with a wearable device. So something that's like a watch that you wear around your wrist, and it tracks movement. And that data is put into a dashboard and gives a picture and an overview of the sorts of things that you are doing and how you're using your energy on a day-to-day basis. Having that sort of objective view, then you meet with a personal mentor who can help you to reflect on some of the days where things were more difficult symptom-wise, and how you might shift around how you're approaching your activity in order to manage your energy and to achieve more in terms of your activity, or more success with your activity. It's over a 12-week period, so week 1 you would get sent your device and you would meet with someone to help set the program up. Week 2 you'd have a baseline review with them, and then from week 4 to 12 you would meet on 4 different occasions for 20 minutes with your mentor and reflect on the dashboard and how you were feeling during the activity that is shown up on the dashboard. And together they can support you to figure out ways of trying out things differently to see if that is something that can support you. And if you do go to the Key Active website, you can see there is a lot of data showing the benefit that people with long COVID and people with ME/CFS have experienced from making use of this as a device. So in summary of these treatment options, so option 1 is the group program, where you may have you have 16 hours of contact time. Option 2 is individual sessions, and the contact time could be anything between 1 up to 8 hours. It's a choice of either 1 or 2, but you can have option 3 in addition to those 2 options, or you could have option 3 as a standalone option. So just to recap, you can opt for the group program and Key Active, or the group program by itself. You could opt for individual sessions and the Key Active program, or individual sessions by themselves, or you could opt for the Key Active program by itself. And the Key Active program could be something that you initiate at the same time as doing individual sessions and at the same time as the group, or it could be something that you save for when you finish in March, so there's something that sees you beyond the time that you are discharged from the service. So what do I do next? We'd be really grateful if you could complete a questionnaire before attending your assessment. There's a link on the next slide, but we'll also send you an email with a reminder before your assessment takes place. The questionnaire gives us an idea of the baseline of your symptoms, and it's also something that's been really, really helpful for us to show to people who hold the purse strings for services like this, to show a difference from pre-treatment to post-treatment. And then after that, come along, attend your assessment, come and meet the team, and agree on your next steps with us. We have allowed 2 hours for each assessment, so please do make arrangements so that you can be here in an unhurried way for 2 hours. We also appreciate this as a really significant amount of time to be concentrating and invite you to take breaks, tell us to pause at any point, and we will work around you and how you're tolerating that session. But we find this is time that's required for us to fully hear what's happened for you in your journey and to think through a plan. The first 45 minutes is with one clinician. That would either be an occupational therapist or a physiotherapist, and the second part will be with a psychological practitioner. So as I've talked about before, it's so important that we understand how you're affected from your emotional, psychological well-being as much as the physical well-being. And you get a 15-minute break in between those sessions. So it may be an hour and a half, it may be up to 2 hours. And finally, here are the links to the questionnaire. You can either type in this complicated combination of letters and numbers, or if you have a smartphone, take a snap of this QR code and it will take you directly to the questionnaire. Do consider if right now is the right time for you to be doing this. If not, set yourself a reminder for an hour, 2 hours time tomorrow. We will also send you an email with the link in just before your appointment to remind you to do it. That's it for now. Thank you so much for your time listening, and we really look forward to meeting you. Take care.